all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, you weirdos. Jim here, and it's time for the most anticipated comic show, the preview show for the week of July 3rd, 2024. And I can finally say that all the books seem to be coming out on Wednesday, and it'll be July 3rd, as I said, because DC is going to be shipping stuff on Wednesday from here on out. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird to kind of get used to that, especially when you're reviewing stuff and what day you do things and all that jazz. But as we go into this show, as I always say, we put away last week's books. We get ready for the coming week's books, and everything springs eternal. We're all excited about everything. And what this show is that I tell you what I'm looking forward to this coming week. It doesn't mean that everything's the greatest. It's some things that are number one, so obviously I haven't read them yet. And there's some things that maybe I hope rebound, or maybe I'm just interested in a weird way, whatever. But I really would love to hear what everybody else is anticipating, what everybody else is looking forward to this coming week. And as we do this show, we say the title, the creative team, the price, and the solicit. We're going to start with DC, and I have one DC book. It's the big one, Absolute Power #1, written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora. It is $4.99, and here is the solicit. The Trinity of Evil is one. DC's epic summer event kicks off with a bang as the combined might of Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen has at last given Amanda Waller the ability to steal the metahuman abilities of every hero and villain on planet Earth. As chaos erupts in the streets and a massive misinformation campaign sways public opinion to her side, the founder of the Suicide Squad methodically targets each superhero dynasty. I was going to say destiny. One at a time, starting with Superman. But even in the darkest of hours, a resistance is forming, and Batman is out for vengeance, as he always is. It's a shocking blitzkrieg across the globe that is decades in the making and will shape the course of the DC universe for years to come. Doesn't say, but at what cost? Brought to you by the superstar talents of Mark Waid and Dan Mora. It all starts here. So we have the event starting out. I did enjoy the Absolute Power Ground Zero, kind of the zero type issue going into this. I actually said I thought it was going to be more of a catch up, not mustard, for people who maybe haven't been reading and things like that, but it actually did tie a bunch of things together. Goes forward with the pretty much big thing of Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen. So everything is set up to have a pretty cool event. I will be reviewing this, and it comes out Wednesday, but I will try to get a review out on Monday. So a spoiler-free or maybe a spoiler review. I will mention if there are spoilers on that. Anything that is early, I will do that. But if you want to know how it is and whatnot, maybe what I'll do is I'll start out, tell my score, and then do the video, right? How about that? That'd be pretty crazy. But that's it for DC for me this week. I'm going to move on to Marvel. Marvel has a couple books. The first one I am really looking forward to see how it is. Wolverine Deep Cut #1, written by Chris Claremont, art by Edgar Salazar. It is $3.99. Out of the Outback on a life and death mission. At last, Logan's secret adventure revealed, featuring a sinister revelation and claw-to-claw confrontations with Sabretooth. This is a must-have Wolverine story for new and long-standing fans alike that simply cannot be missed. Back in Uncanny X-Men 246, Logan set off from the Australian Outback, leaving behind what was left of the X-Men for a personal mission. Now, after decades of mystery, Chris Claremont reveals just what Wolverine got up to before his classic battle with the Reavers. This next Chris Claremont penned mutant saga begins with the untold story of Wolverine's most personal mission and at what cost. And I did go back to look at the Uncanny X-Men 246, and yeah, he just skedaddles. He's like, I got to get out of here. This will finally tell all the fans out there that have been waiting for with bated breath from way long ago what exactly happened with Logan. But I am really looking forward to that. I really did like the Marge Report Knights that just ended up finishing, that Chris Claremont and I believe Edgar Salazar did as well. So I am looking forward to that. The next one is I'm looking forward to with kind of like curiosity, kind of sitting there and like, I wonder what's going to go on here because it is Spider-Man Reign 2, number 1. So it's a 2, but a number 1. You get it? It's written and art by Kari Andrews. It's $4.99. And I know that you end up having this whole Spider-Man Reign. A lot of people just look at it as, hey, that's that story that Peter ended up killing MJ with radioactive sperm. There's more than that, but that's there too. Me and my man Matt, who do the Marvel reviews here on the YouTube and also everywhere else, we ended up doing the Spider-Man Reign on our events podcast we have on our Patreon, patreon.com/weirdscience, by the way. But we ended up liking Spider-Man Reign at first. Then it started getting wacky. And by the end, we're like, okay, yeah, it was wacky. But at first, we were actually pretty intrigued by it. I hope that this ends up being good. But here we go. Back to the Amazing Spider-Man's future. Award-winning writer-artist Kari Andrews returns to the world of Spider-Man's dystopian future in the sequel to the landmark genre-defying Spider-Man Reign. Every preview before this would say, how what would they say? The crazy story, or they would end up saying stuff like that. Now it's the landmark, genre-defying. I don't even know what word I was thinking they were saying. I was going to say decisive, but it wasn't decisive. And who is the new Black Cat? Back to the solicit. When I end up not knowing what to say, we go back to the solicit. What tragedies and triumphs await this older, grizzled Peter Parker? Peter isn't the only one who's aged. Wait until you see what happened to Miles Morales, and that seems pretty weird. I know that at the end of the first Spider-Man Reign, one of the things that me and Matt wondered was what happened to Wilson Fisk. And I think that's what we were wondering, so maybe we'll find that out as well. But then we got Miles Morales in this joint, and I wish I could think of words. Somebody needs to get me a thesaurus coming up. But here we go. And by the way, that is a dinosaur. We end up here where we're going to go to indie books now. Those two were my only Marvel books. We're going to go to indie. And boy, we have a lot more indie than the big two. There's a shocker. It is something that has happened gradually with me personally. I think a lot of people will have the same experience that I was big DC. I was a DC guy. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I need something a little extra. Let me go to Marvel. Started getting into some Marvel stuff. And then I'm like, yay, where else? And what I actually did I went to manga at first and then had that, but I still wanted some more comics. Yeah, so I went to indie. It took me a while. It actually did take me a while to accept or go to indie, mainly because there's just so many books and it was hard to wade through them. But I waded through. I got my hip waders, went right in, and now I have a bunch of favorites. And lo and behold, I think my top 5 or 6 books right now are actually indie books, not big two. And that is crazy. The big two better watch out. I'm putting them on, I don't even know what I'm saying tonight. I am really they're on point on, Space Ghost number 3. I don't know what's going on. I do. They put me on a new medicine and it's not working out. I just can't think of things. Things are not flowing well, though most people say it's just the same old, but Space Ghost number 3, written by David P. Post, art by Jonathan Lau. $4.99. If you had listened to some of our reviews and even the best of shows before, I did not like Space Ghost number 1. I know a lot of people did like it. I ended up not liking it so much, but I did like Space Ghost number 2. I thought that rebounded, gave me what I wanted kind of from Space Ghost number 1. So now I am looking forward to Space Ghost number 3. But here is the solicit. Hopefully I won't go on a tangent and forget words. Because you're not the only ones who lost their family to these monsters. All right. Enter the widow. Is she friend or foe? Rolling the dice and trusting the potentially untrustworthy, the ghost crew takes the fight to RoboCorp. Will their new ally be the key they've been missing and bringing down the evil RoboCorp once and for all? Find out in this issue. That doesn't sound like... I don't know why that doesn't sound like anything I was reading. I'm telling you, I'm wondering if maybe I grabbed the wrong thing, but I don't think I did. Ooh, wait, that medicine. Don't even add. Maybe I'll tell you what the medicine is by the end. It's killing me. It really is. It's kind of making me happy, but in a way that I can't really think straight. But hey, that's pretty cool. And no, the medicine is not meth. I'm sorry. Free Agent #1. Written by Kurt Busiek and Fabian Nicieza. Art by Triona Farrell. $3.99. This is an Image book, by the way. The Space Ghost is a Dynamite Entertainment book. Free Agents #1, though, is an Image comic. I actually had an advanced preview of this, started reading it, somehow got distracted, which I do, and I didn't finish it. But what I did read and what I saw was pretty cool. Pretty much feels like a 90s adventure action comic, but it says season premiere, giant size, bargain price, an all-new ongoing series. Kurt Busiek, Astro City, Fabian Nicieza, Deadpool, and Stephen Money, Half Past Dangerous. So Triona Farrell, I believe, might have been the colorist of it, or inker. Introduce a team of young veteran survivors of a massive intergalactic war. Salvo, Pike, Katari, Shakti, Ridge, Maraud, Chalice. Is this just me just naming random things in the room? Chalice, Pike. It'd be a weird room if I end up having Shakti, which actually I believe might be, a rapper, possibly. I think that might be Humpty Hump's actual other rap name. I might be wrong. They fought every day of their existence and won a terrible victory. Now they're stranded on Earth, free agents for the first time. But when relics from the long war appear, threatening their chance at better lives, their greatest battle begins. They fought for 1 million planets. Can they fight to save their own souls? And at what cost is what I want to know. Really, oh my. Holy moly. But it did look really, really cool. And the little bit that I read seemed pretty neat. Oversized for $3.99. Can't go wrong there. Next one is a Image Comics / Skybound / Energon universe. It is Scarlett #2. Oh my goodness. Derisive is what I was thinking of earlier. Derisive. Because this book is as well. Because people were not real happy about Kelly Thompson's #1 issue of Scarlett. One guy I keep saying told me he just blew up the whole Energon universe. He's done. All those great books, and he's like, that one issue of Scarlett, he is hitting the road. Scarlett #2, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Marco Ferreri, and it is $3.99. In order to find her missing friend Jinx, Scarlett goes undercover to discover the truth. But the man known as Blank might have other ideas. That might be Storm Shadow, possibly. That solicit is so generic and kind of plays out what they did last issue. So we'll see. We shall see. I fingers crossed. I hope that this issue, and I'll tell you, I will say right now, to have people get on the Scarlet book, and this may be calling out some people. I'm not meaning to, but to have Scarlet #2 impress people, it has to be like triple good, if you know what I mean. If it's just a good issue, people are still going to clap back at Kelly Thompson and say, oh, she's still not that good. I don't know. I hope she knows this. She has to really triple it up to be able to people to say, oh my God, I'm comfortable with her being part of the Energon deal. It's sad, but true, as Metallica sang. And also just the idea that first issue stunk. It stunk on ice. It did. So it needs to get even better. And I think to end up having people calm down a bit, it has to do way more than just being decent. It has to be way more than I think even just being good. We'll see, though. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a review on that on the channel, though. I have to admit that people have told me that reviews don't work on YouTube, and I don't know. I'm starting to believe them, but you could tell me if that is right or wrong. The last book of the anticipated show preview deal, Conan the Barbarian, #12, written by Jim Zub, art by Roberto de la Torre, $3.99. It's Titan Books. Beyond Flesh, Beyond Death, Beyond Time. That's what it says. Conan has traveled far and seen much in his legendary journeys, but nothing he has experienced thus far can prepare him for a quest to lands beyond to answer dark riddles of the past. Unexpected allies await. I kind of know a couple of them. Fierce enemies loom, and the strange power of the Black Stone stirs in the age of the unconquered. Such a good book. Me and Jim Zub, we had a little falling out. He didn't know it, but we did. And it was a bit of, a whole deal going. and he ended up finding out, namely because I flipped out on a Comics Aficionado show, and he ended up getting a hold of me, worked it out, and I'm happy because I get to read Conan the Barbarian. And in fact, because of our little discussion, he ended up sending me the review copies, which is very nice of him. So I'll be excited to do that, though. I will admit, I believe I'm 2 issues behind on Conan. Every time Conan comes out, people do end up saying to me, oh, why didn't you put Conan? Why didn't you put? And it has been because I have been a little behind. Also, I do have a couple people who always mention the deluxe editions of The Walking Dead. I believe that issue number 92 comes out this week. I have a Walking Dead deluxe podcast that we do on our Patreon. By the way, that's patreon.com/weirdscience. If you were wondering, lots of crazy Marvel, DC, indie, and manga shows there, I heard. But we're a little behind as well. Our scheduling got all messed up. So we are actually, I believe, on issue number 90 is why I didn't put it on the show. But I always look forward to it. It's really great. And if you haven't gone through the deluxe versions of The Walking Dead, I suggest you do it, and screw it. I'm putting it on. I don't even have to solicit for it. I'm just going to say, check out that Walking Dead deluxe. I might be able to find it really quick. I don't see it. You stinker. Maybe it doesn't come out, but I'm just going to throw it out. Maybe it came out last week. I don't know. I said, I'm having problems. I'm having a lot of problems here. But if you haven't checked out that Walking Dead deluxe stuff, it's really good. You have, obviously, the color of the color edition of their going. And in the meantime, you have a cutting room floor deal at the end where Robert Kirkman goes through his original notes and tells you little trivias and things like that. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool read. I have enjoyed it. But again, I never saw the show and never actually read the original comics. So it's all new to me. But again, I didn't put it last week or this week only because I'm a little behind, or maybe a big behind, right? Like Sir Mix-a-Lot. He'd like me. Ooh-wee. But that is it. That is it for the show. I hope that everybody enjoyed it. It felt like I was a little off the rails. It felt like I was a runaway train at one point. Again, if I'm going to do crazy references, a Soul Asylum is what I'll say for that. But everybody tell me what you enjoyed or what you're looking forward to. What you're looking forward to enjoy in the comments below. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about doing it. Be pretty cool. Put a smile on my face. Ooh-wee. And all of that. So I will talk to you later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.